everybody. It is I, your friendly hood neighborhood. It is I, your friendly neighborhood INFP. There, got it. We're done. Done with the intro. Anyways, I couldn't come up with anything better to do today plus work, so we're going to talk about how I need to stop talking about myself as if I though. Bleh. I need to stop talking about myself as though I came from a 20s radio show. Although I suppose my voice would be a different pitch if I were to actually talk to myself that way. About myself that way. Anyways, so today I am going to talk about how I got introduced to MBTI. Another interesting thing, had I never been introduced to MBTI, where would I have been now? Who can say? And that's in the past anyway. So, way back, like way back, we're talking teenage years, probably around 12th grade. I was around 16 at the time, and turning 17 because that's when I graduated school, was when I was 17, but this was during the time when I was 16, but I digress. Like most teenagers, I was in pursuit of who I was as a person, trying to figure out myself, who I was, what I was. It's always interesting watching teenagers now do similar things, but in very different fashions. It's just interesting. But anyways, so I'm there. I'm trying to figure myself out. I'm trying to figure out my personality. I'm trying to figure out who I am as a person. And I started taking tests. I started taking so many tests. Now, this was about the era when a lot of forums were popular. It was a time when a lot of tests linked to forums was very popular. It was the era where forum flame wars were abundant. If any of you recall that time frame, it would be around, I would say, roughly anywhere from 2000 to 2005. Forums just like took off. They were how people mostly interacted with people, and even like after 2005, forums were still a thing because Facebook didn't exist then, so you were either on a forum or you were on Yahoo, MSN, AOL, all these different chat sites, because Skype also wasn't a huge thing back then either. I know I'm old, I'm showing my age, stop it. So back then, bunch of personality quiz things are starting to pop up, and that's when I started to take all these different personality quizzes. So like there's like what personality does your aura show, what personality is your, and like what animal is your related to your personality, what is this personality, what is that person, what does this personality mean, what does that personality mean. I can't even remember all the tests, but it is during this time when I found David Kiersey. His site, I don't even know if I still have access to it. I'm not sure. But anyways, that was the first time I ever heard the term INFP. I had no idea what it meant back then, but I liked the idea that right beside it, at the time, it said idealist. And I'm like, well, I can identify with that. And I read it, I'm like, yeah, this is pretty accurate to who I am. And I took that and I ran with it. Then we jump approximately 10 years down the road, closer to 9, at around 24 when I'm attending college. I took another personality test, and it turned out that I was once again an INFP. And this one I got from a book. I cannot remember the name of the book. It might have been Types Differing. I am not sure, but my sister had gotten the books from the library, and I had read it, and I'm like, this book is amazing. And then, so we both did our tests, and I ended up as INFP once again. And then, so I didn't really pay all that much attention to it then either. Even though, like, mad stressed going through college and all of that, even though I only took a culinary degree. But, anyways, during that period, that kind of off period of MBTI, I was still taking these tests, and I do not recall. I can no longer remember where I was. I just can remember what I was doing. And I know that there was another. I've taken so many online personality tests. It's not funny. If it would be pretty accurate to say I've taken at least 100, because I can't even remember all the other personality tests that were kind of like offshoots of MBTI, or like that kind of used it. Like, oh, do you know your MBTI? Well, obviously you're this kind of person. You're this kind of color, or you're this kind of, you know what I'm talking about. And these personality tests also started popping up when Facebook started becoming extremely popular. And I was just there once again in my 20s trying to figure myself out. And then when college hit, is like I said, when I took the next step into MBTI. And the reason why I did was I was trying to figure out myself. I was trying to figure out why I was so stressed. I was trying to figure out why I was so depressed. I was trying to figure out so many things. And reading that book helped quite a bit. And then after that, I kind of left it alone so that I could complete college, but I still kept my eye on it. Still, I think I did 4 more MBTI tests, all consecutively coming up as INFP without fail. And yes, I even took a 16 personality test one, but that wasn't until like after, I want to say, the 5th site I'd been to take personality tests. One could say that I'm kind of addicted to taking personality tests. It might be an INFP thing, or just might be, people like taking personality test things. Who knows? But anyways, uh, so I go off and I'm like, okay, well, I'm pretty sure I'm an INFP. And then I start reading articles. And then I'm like, oh, snap, I need to actually do some more research to make sure that I'm actually an INFP and not mistyping as an ENFP, INTP, INFJ. And my sister once thought I was an INTJ because it came off as rather cold and aloof, but INFPs can do that. So I kind of disregarded that comment from her. But, anyways, so I'm doing all this research, and it is about this time when I end up having a argument with a person who I had considered to be the closest thing to a best friend that I could have ever gotten thus far. And it was also during this time when I had started reading Heidi Priebe. It's this time that I started reading some of Truity. It is this time when I started reading a bunch of other MBTI notes, and like I'd ask people on Tumblr and other places, hey, where do I go to get more resources? So I'd be consuming more and more, because at this point I was also in severe depression, and I wanted out. And not only was this the time when I had severe depression, this was also the time when I ended up having a fight with a person I had considered my best friend. And one of the comments from a person in the group chat had said was that, oh, here comes another one of those famous fights. And I paused and I thought about that, and something just kind of clicked. And after that, I was like, okay, well, I'm out of here. Now, later on, this would be what Heidi Priebe, and yes, I am attributing this to Heidi Priebe because I think she's the first and only person who has coined it as such, and it has become one of my favorite terms, is the fee repulsion switch. Basically, you reach a certain point where you're repulsed and you disappear, you leave, you're gone. You essentially ghost the people, or you want nothing to do with it, and you're out. You're like you're repulsed by it. You're like, no, no more, and you go and do something else. So it was around that time when I seriously started honing in on my passion into MBTI, and I then just from that point on took, let's see here, this would be 6 years. Holy crap, I've been studying it on and off for 6 years. Wow, I didn't even realize that until this moment. Holy crap. um okay, well, yeah, there you have it. I had been studying it for, like, from that moment on, reading all the humorous articles, becoming a fan of all the MBTI people, wanting to do a webcomic. That's so I guess one could say I seriously got into MBTI 6 years ago, and yeah, that's rather. Is that right? 6 years ago? That can't be right. Let me just calculate again. Yeah, 6 years ago. Holy crap. That's impressive. Huh. And I still don't believe I know everything there is to know about MBTI. I question absolutely everything. And most of the focus has been about myself first before other types. But yeah, I guess one could say around, let's see here, it would have been, came here in 2000 and, wow, yeah, so yeah, since 2014, 2015 is when I seriously started um, getting super highly hyper interested into MBTI. And from that point on, I guess the rest is history. So yeah, that has been my maybe hard to follow, or maybe easy to follow, or maybe interesting story. But yeah, if you guys have any other interesting things that you'd like me to talk about, do comment down below. And of course, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. With that being said, I will see you guys next time. Bye bye!